Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Odilon, Odilon Kosso. I was born in Yaoundé, Cameroon, and today I'll be meeting with my friend Blaise, and we'll be talking about some ventures that we've been involved in. I personally am the founder of Utopia, and Blaise is the founder of Tomorrow Education. We're going to focus on Blaise's venture today. It's a non-profit. And before we proceed, I would like Blaise to introduce himself. So Blaise, my brother, please introduce yourself.
Oh yeah. Thank you for passing me the time to introduce myself. My name is Blaise Mbargorba. I'm Cameroonian. I was born in Cameroon, specifically in GAROUA. And like you just mentioned it, I came in the United States since 2008. I went to school here, went to high school in Jersey, went to college in Boston, went to the same school. And we ventured together. Here we are, trying to make something good or something positive about our lovely country and continents. Try to make change, try to make impact.
Absolutely. Yeah, so Blaise, I remember back at BU, you were a basketball player. Can you talk a little bit about that? And then we can transition to Tomorrow Education.
Yeah, so I was at BU. I spent 4 years at BU. After I graduated, I played overseas for a couple of years. I was in France, Spain, also Portugal. Portugal was the last country that I played.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I had fun, man. I enjoyed my time at BU. I enjoyed my time playing basketball overseas.
Yeah.
And I think like life sometimes takes you in different stages, right? So it's like fast, and then you have to like take another step. Absolutely. So what's next? And since I came here, man, I always have the vision to make an impact on its life back home, where I came from. That's always been in my heart, because I'm trying to think about what can I do, right, to make some change or to impact those kids that really need help. That's why I had a vision to found my nonprofit, Tomorrow Education. So I founded in 2020. So it's been 2 years now that we've been officially, I would say legal or or recognized, officially recognized.
Yeah.
By the IRS as a nonprofit 501c3.
Amazing. Your life story is very similar to my life story. Of course, we were both born in Cameroon. We both became educated in the US, and we've both had the urge to give back to our continent, to our country, to our people. And I have to commend you for taking action like this. That's very impressive. And I think that you're an example for a lot of people in the future to look to, to not just be consumers, but to also help people by creating for them, by helping them, helping them grow, helping our community grow. So
exactly.
Just a little bit of small talk before we go into the meat of this conversation. What are your thoughts on the World Cup and how it's transpired so far?
Oh man, the World Cup, man. I really enjoy, man, watching our lovely teams, all African represent. Yeah. Unfortunately, our last hope, Morocco, didn't get a chance to
They did a good job. They tried their best, though.
Yeah, man, they did, man. You can see, man. You can see how Africa, Africa soccer teams, right, evolving from where we were, a couple years ago, decades ago, Absolutely. So really evolving. We catch up, man. Our talent is right there. Morocco is like the first African team to get to the quarterfinal. So that's
yes,
that's
absolutely
big time.
And just
we're getting there.
I'm going to give a shout out to Samuel Eto'o, to Song Bahana, to Mboma Patrick, and to all the players in the Cameroon national team. You guys tried your best. You did a good job, but I'm hoping that in the next 4 years, we win the next one. So
the future's bright, man. The future's bright. We have a talent. The future's
absolutely. For sure. So going back to our topic of education, Blaise, what does education mean to you, bro? Like, what does education mean, and how important is education for a society, for a community, for a country, for our continent?
Okay, personally, to me, I think education is like a fundamental, is like a foundation, or for a country, whatever case may be. I think that's like the basic, the foundation. So when we talk about foundation, I always think education like when you try to build a house, right? Yeah. So when you build a house, if you don't have like a solid foundation, like strong foundation, the house is not gonna last that long because the foundation is gonna be weak.
Yes,
it's gonna be weak. When the storm comes, the house is gonna fall down, right?
Collapse, yes.
So that's how I look at education, right? And it's very important because, and especially the kids, the younger ones. So those I'm talking about the foundation of, like the kids, like the middle schools, you know what I mean? Those kids, high school, those little kids, those are the future, right? So those are the kids we have to be, take care of and make sure they have
to nurture them.
The right foundation, because they are the future, right?
Absolutely.
So the older ones, the one in college, they're already mature, right? So but the little ones, they are the ones going to become the future, doctors, professors, ministers, engineers. You know what I mean? Those are the kids. So I think that's why education is very important. That's why I'm very putting all my effort, all my sacrifice, to the kids back home in Cameroon, because I truly believe they deserve a chance, the opportunity to be successful. They are
the backbone of the country, and if the backbone is weak, then the whole body is weak. So
exactly,
we must make sure that is the healthiest part, which is the youngest children, right? Give them the best resources, the best tools to make sure that, because these are like you said, these are the future doctors, the future lawyers, the future engineers,
right?
Are going to be the bedrock of our country, of our continent, right?
Yeah, right. And if you don't take care of these kids and make sure they're having a good learning environment, having opportunities, all the tools to be successful, we're never gonna, the country never gonna excel to meet the higher potential, right?
Especially with the evolving world, right, where technology is changing, and we have to be up to date to be able to compete, right?
We have to catch up. We have to catch up, and we're way behind right now, especially Africa and Cameroon. We're way behind, so it's very important. We have to catch up, and we gotta do something, right? We have to do something fast, because we're already behind. So we have to catch up.
Action, which is why I'm so impressed by what you're doing. You decided to say, okay, enough of this. We need to take action. We need to give these children the right resources, the right environment to be able to learn appropriately in a way that they can actually retain the knowledge. Because how do you retain knowledge when you are sitting on the floor?
And that's a
hurts, right?
And also too though, here's the problem too. When the kids are in a good learning environment, it's good for everybody, right? It's good for the community, it's good for the family, it's good for the kids, and it's good for the country, right?
Absolutely.
So keeping those kids in school is good for everybody, because think about it. When the kids go to school and they're sitting on the floor, the learning environment are very deplorable, right? There's no roof, the ceiling's leaking, they're not comfortable. So the kids drop out. So the dropping rate goes high, right? They drop out of school. Imagine what these kids doing when they drop out.
Exactly.
They're on the street. They're on the street, start stealing, start doing bad things, right? So, and those kids we talking about kids are like, we talk about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Those are high school kids. Like, those are kids. Those are kids supposed to be in school. Now they're out of school, you know, and like the community is not safe, you know, and we end up, you know, having kids all over the place. So keeping those schools actually
vulnerable. They are young and vulnerable too, and they need the guidance, the resources, and the materials and the environment to attain that. And which is where you come in with Tomorrow Education. And everyone, please make sure you go to tomorroweducation.com and check out the website, and please donate to this nonprofit organization that we're going to talk about today. So going more into the taking action part of this. So, you know, one major variable that impacts the educational quality is what? Finance, right? So how has the lack of finance affected access to proper education for these young children, these young vulnerable children?
Okay, so again, you see, back to what we're talking about. You know what the good thing about what we're talking about here? Like everything we're gonna connect, right? Everything gonna bring together is like a chain. So again, so the impact of this kid is, you see, like I say again, dropping out, right? They drop out of school because the learning environment are very deplorable, right? And affects everybody, not just the kids. Everybody is affected at this point, right?
Absolutely.
So now all the kids out of school, the community is suffering, right? And then the family also suffering too, because the kids are not what it's supposed to be to take care of the family, for example.
Of course.
And now the country now also suffering too, because now we don't have the kids that's supposed to be the future engineer we were talking about earlier, the future doctor who's going to be the future lawyer. Now they're not in school anymore, they're out. So the chances to achieve those goals are limited. Now everybody's suffering. It affects the entire system.
Yes. Actually, I love how you just described it. And I like how you're basically saying that, okay, you know, there's a lot of complex things going on in our society, in our country, in our world. And you figure out that for us to actually try to solve or alleviate a lot of these problems, we have to solve it at the fundamental level, at the lowest level, right? And if we can solve it at the lowest level, at the fundamental level, then this solution can actually help solve a lot of the problems that emerge from that fundamental lack of education, right?
Right, exactly.
And this will expand, not like you said, with your own words, not just helping the individual child, but helping their family, helping their village, helping their town, helping their city, helping their country, all the way to helping the planet.
Exactly. You see, it's a span, man. It's a span. Like I say again earlier, right? The foundation is very important. Example, I come back again, building the house, right?
Yes.
So let's say if you don't have the right foundation for your house, and you build it, and then your house starts falling apart, and now you're gonna start like fixing like the roof, fixing the windows, fixing the door. That's not gonna do nothing, because it's the bottom. It's not gonna. You're gonna spend all the money fixing all those things, and it's not gonna sit because the foundation is bad, right?
Exactly.
So we have to start all the way at the bottom. And it's same to education. It's the same thing. So we're gonna sit here and say, oh well, now the other people don't doing the job, other people don't doing that. Those are already on the top. We don't want that. We're gonna start like low, like from the bottom.
Yes.
Now this is not an overnight thing, and I'm telling people every time, this is not an overnight result. If you think you do this to have an overnight result for like a month, 2 months, a year, you're out of your mind. We're talking about this. That's for years to come. Probably after me, after you, what we're doing here. This one I'm doing here, I'm probably not going to see the result of this, what I'm doing. Probably right? Yeah. So hopefully somebody over and push this till we get to that point.
Absolutely.
So that's my vision. So, and hopefully, I think, and we will get there.
Wow,
I think we can.
That's a great vision. Yeah, and you know what I like about it too, because it's similar to how I approach life. Like a lot of the projects that I work on, you know, I don't plan to actually see them come into fruition in my lifetime. Like a lot of my goals are very long-term goals. I call it having a 1,000-year plan. That's what I call it. Because I think an issue in our society today, and especially in Africa, is that we have been taught to think too short-term. And short-term thinking, like you said, is equivalent to what I call like the Band-Aid syndrome, where you are always patching a Band-Aid on a problem instead of actually solving the problem, right? You put a Band-Aid and until the Band-Aid falls off, and then you put a Band-Aid again, right? You keep patching, but if you actually went and solved the problem from the foundational level, like you said, from the foundational level, then you don't have to do the Band-Aid and the patchwork.
Right? That you can't. Right.
And for us to achieve that, we have to think very long term. We have to have solutions that are very like broad, not just like now, you know.
That's just like right now, especially with education. You can't. That's something that you're gonna see the result like right now, right away. This is that's talking about 10, 15, 20 years, because these kids that we looking out are kids like, so let's say like the 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
So by the time they become adult, they're going to probably be like 22, 23. So we're talking about at least 20, 15 years, 20 years here we're talking about, right? So that's where you're going to start seeing all those results of our hard work.
Absolutely. So now that we've talked about the lack of finance and how finance is a barrier for the educational quality, what are your thoughts on logistics of and distribution of the resources? And what I mean by that is, you know, so let's say that hypothetically we get a large donation that would help us solve a lot of these schools at the same time, right? Let's say we get a couple $1 million donation to help us, you know, really fast pace the expansion of tomorrow education, right? How would the allocation of those resources be done logistically? And is logistics a barrier in Africa and in Cameroon for you know, for organizing the system in a way that it's efficient for these children to get the right education for the future?
So again, talking about logistics, right? So when I was home last time I was home a couple months ago. So actually the good thing is though, I have a lot of support even back home. So I have a lot of support, people who like supporting me from the community, from the government, people who like admiring my work. So they're really supporting me, you know what I mean? So I feel for that, we're gonna have a lot of support back home. People who can help us facilitate all those like transaction or like distribution back home, right? And also too though, is the trust, right? We have to trust each other.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah, we have to trust each other and make sure all these kids will receive all the logistics, right?
Absolutely.
So the trust. And also there's a very important trust. We have to trust each other.
Absolutely.
Right?
So trust is important, and trust is important for accountability. We have to have an accountability so that these children actually receive the resources that we're trying to provide for them, right?
Right.
How do we facilitate that trust at the grassroots level? Like you said, you have a lot of you already have a good amount of ground support, right? How do we expand that to the point where it can be broad, not just 1 or 2 schools, but let's say we get to a point where we have a network of 20 schools, 30 schools, 40 schools, 50 schools, for example. You know, how do we expand that distribution? Or is that something that is still a work in progress? So we don't have to go into that into too much detail.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for right now, we still on the start. So we only 2 years old, right? So we only 2 years old.
Yeah.
So we have way to go. But again, in the future, that's why every time we have a project, I'm always home, trying to be there, right? So also I'm trying to connect with people back home, have a relationship with them, right?
Okay.
So you're not gonna have a relationship with, you know what I mean, when you're in distance, right? It's different when you're there. The physical relationship is different than having a telephone relationship,
Absolutely.
so when I go, I get to meet like new people too back home, right? So talk to them, get to know them, who they are, their personality, how can I even trust them, right? For like the long term or future project. Right. So that's why every time when I go, I meet those people, meet new people, talk to them, get to know them, and build a relationship for the future.
Okay, great. I love that answer. So, like you said, in person, building that in person relationship is very important. And it's important at the ground level, and also leadership at the ground level.
Right, exactly. Because I can tell you this though. I can tell you this. When you talk to somebody on the phone, and when you talk to somebody in person, it's totally different. Like in person, you have the feel of the person, right? You have the feeling, and when you look at somebody in the eye, talking to them, like you feel like you know what type of person they are.
Yeah,
you're gonna right instead of having on the phone, you're talking, but you don't really know. Like you see,
it doesn't
body language.
It doesn't resonate the same virtually. In person, which is why you like being in person and having the little children see that yes, I'm here to help, I'm here to facilitate this organization at the ground level, and I'm here to handpick some leaders that would help us achieve this goal. Given that leadership is so important. Okay. So so Blaise, on the final note here, just give us a brief summary of sort of the long, like I said earlier, we talked about already, the long-term goals of tomorrow education, and what you want us to do, the audience, to do, to take action to help you achieve this goal.
Okay, our long-term for tomorrow education is very well. It sounds simple, but it's not simple, right? At the same time, so it's simple, but it's not simple. So when I say simple, it's very simple. Like it's improving the school environment. In like right now, we focus in Cameroon because that's where I'm from. So I gotta start.
That's our home, bro. We have no choice. We must first fix our home.
Right? Yeah, we're home, right? Our home first, right? Before. Okay? So and tomorrow education is not just for Cameroon. People gonna understand this. That's our vision. That's for Africa in general.
Yes.
Right. Our vision is to improve the learning school, the school learning environment in the entire Africa. Right. So we have to make sure like the kids have the good education, they're comfortable, they have what they need to be successful. That's our goal. Right. To change the learning environment totally.
Great.
And which is not.
And we will accomplish that, everyone, the audience, by donating on tomorroweducation.org to help Blaise and the Tomorrow Education team achieve this goal of lighting up Africa, lighting up the mind of young Cameroonian children, and allowing them to have the opportunity to compete with the rest of the world in this ever-evolving economy, in this ever-evolving world, with technology that's also transcending. So this is very important. I think it's a critical time for this, and I'm so happy that you are doing this, Blaise. So I have to commend you.
Yeah, thank you, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, like you said, man, and this is not like one person. Is kind of difficult for one person to do this, right? Yes. We need to together. We know what they say back when they say l'union fait la force. L'union fait la force. When you the union is a power. Like when you're all together, you have more power to achieve the goal, right? So I'm by myself is tough. It's more challenging when you do by yourself and when you have other people who like supporting you, right? So the thing is though, I need the support, right? So especially like here we have a lot of like African or Cameroonian people, like here in the States, right? Who I know like most of them see what I'm doing, right? They see what I'm doing. They see my mission all the time because I post on social media. But you know what I mean? Again, like I said, we gotta stop being selfish, right? First thing first, we need to stop being selfish and think about home.
Come together. We have to come together.
We all together. We think that we left something behind. So we need to go and help, right?
Yes.
We need to go back and help. And also we need to stop like pointing fingers, right? So I feel like especially us African, we always like point fingers at the government, right? They're all the government, but again, the government can do everything, right? They cannot do everything. Yeah. So first thing we can do, let's ask ourselves, what are we doing to contribute?
Yes.
What is our contribution? That's the first question. When I say people are old, don't talk. No, it's coming to talk about, okay, no, you know what, back home, like the government. No. I was like, no, bro, don't say that. What are you doing to contribute to help the government, right? Because we know the government cannot do everything.
The government is just made of the people.
We are exactly
the people.
Exactly. So exactly. Right. So again, right? Like people gotta also understand the. Now we gotta go a little bit deep. We gotta understand also the private, how private sector work. Like what's private sector? Who are the private sector? It's us. It's us. Us who left the country and came here to better our life, right? So it's us. So if we don't go back and create those I don't know, those opportunities to other people back home, nothing gonna happen, right?
Yes.
So I feel we gotta think about going back, and do something. Honestly, like to me personally, it's not just education for me. I think because the foundation of the country, of a country, that's why I'm focusing on. But other people can be passionate on something else, like probably environment or like, I don't know, agriculture or like clean water. We have a lot of things to do back home. It's not just education. So that was something that I want to throw it out there so people can understand, right? So
yes. Absolutely. We have a lot of work to do, and education is one aspect of it, even though it's one of the most important aspects of it, but it's just one aspect.
Yes.
So yeah, please tell everybody where to find you on social media and how to contribute to this non-profit, and we would
okay. Yeah, so we have a Facebook, Tomorrow Education. Type it, we're right there, Tomorrow Education on Facebook, on Instagram, Tomorrow Education _ Tomorrow Education. And we also have a LinkedIn too. So we pretty much on all the social media platforms. So you can just type us and find us. And our website is tomoreducation.org. You can go to learn more about our mission and what we did. We already did like 2 projects in like 2 years. So now we're on our 3rd project. So they're already storing. Actually already starting this weekend. When the kids are gonna go to school, they're gonna start the 3rd project. So we did a lot. We got off at least like 2,000 kids off the floor. So we provide new desks, school supplies, renovate the schools. The first school we renovate 6 classrooms. And the second one renovate 8. So it's pretty productive, and we're very happy where we are right now. Great. So far. Hoping just keep getting keep evolving, and hopefully we can end up having like 5-10 projects a year. Why not? So, but
exactly.
we gotta start.
Exactly.
Most of what. So limit ourselves to 1 project a year. So, our goal is to have like at least 10-20 projects a year. Why not? Keep renovating all those, impacting all the kids.
The last question I have for you, Blaise, is this. Where do I get that hoodie?
So that hoodie, I'm going to send it to you. That hoodie, you're just going to send me your address and I will ship it to you.
Perfect. Good talking to you.
But right now, we're working on getting a website so people can go and purchase there. But for right now, we just have it in our address destination, and then we just ship to the donors or to people who want to support us.
People that want to support, absolutely, absolutely. Yes, thank you for joining me today, Blaise. And guys, please go to tomorroweducation.org and visit all the social media links, follow them, like them, and donate or whatever you can do to help this organization achieve its goals. It will be very helpful. Thank you guys very much. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Odilon.